All right, this is the last section. This is going to show you how to build a plane. This is actually the easiest one we're going to do. It'll probably take about 5 minutes. But it illustrates coordinate systems, and I think that's very important. And we're just going to put a box or a ball on a plane and show how you can get it to go down, slide down a plane. All right, so what I'm going to do here is hit Alt W to get my full screen here, and we're just going to bring a plane out on the screen. And let's hit plane, and I'm just going to bring it out here. Boom. And then I'm going to actually rotate it up. I'm going to hit the E key to rotate, and then the W key just to kind of bring it above the reference frame there. There we go. And I can Control Z to move in, or actually move out. And Control P just to pan around and get where you want it. Now, I'm just going to answer your question, well, what if you want to put materials on it? And 3ds Max has a very powerful way of putting on materials. There's actually a whole set of other tutorials. And we're actually doing an architectural series where we show you how to build a house from scratch and put the materials on outside and out and in. And Alex Green is going to be putting that series up probably starting next week. So we're excited about that. But if you hit the M key in 3ds Max, then up will come this material editor. And what you can do is just tons is load it. But if you come down here to diffuse and you click on this button right here, then you have the ability to grab a bitmap. And the bitmap will first display on one of these, excuse me, it wants me to do something, but it'll first display on one of these, excuse me, get out of this. It will first display on one of these balls, and then what you would do is you could transfer it down with a transfer key, or you can just drag the material right onto the plane. Yeah, and drop it. And there's a whole, I mean, it's very rich here. There's something called UV mapping. That's how 3D software puts an image onto a 3D object. And so, and when I work with paper vision, I pay close attention to UV mapping, because what it does, it actually just takes the map and does it in terms of percentages, and then places it on your object wherever you want to. So when Alex, in a sense, builds these houses and he puts these textures on them, he, in a sense, unwraps or unfolds the house and makes sure all the textures are where they're supposed to be. It's really, really, really fun. Okay. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring my sphere out on the stage and bring that out, and here it is right here. And I'll hit my W key, and I'm just going to try to position it where it needs to go. And I'm not going to be able to very well. I mean, just it's going to be a mess for me. And you saw there, Rick, there's your perspective. Immediately the ball got bigger when I came closer. Let me go ahead and hit the R key to shrink this a little bit. I'm not really sure where this ball is with respect to the plane. So what I'm going to do is go hit Alt W, and so I can see the different perspectives. And now I can see where it is with the plane. And I'll hit the W key so I can move that around and try to get it where it needs to be. And you can see over here that it's not quite in the center. There it is. It's in the center now. So it's about where I want it to be, but there's a problem. And that problem is I want to slide it down the plane, right? And let me go back to Alt W. Excuse me. Good. I want to slide this down the plane. And if I click on this and I hit W, that's not the direction that it wants to go. All right, and so it's in what's called the world coordinates, okay? And then there's something called local coordinates. So once again, you see how this is sliding? So if I click here in View and I go to local coordinates, see how my coordinate changed? And now when I move the plane, it's moving up and down like that. So in physics, this is called the rigid body axis. It's the axis on the body. Now my problem is it didn't help me any, because I want to slide the ball down, not the plane up and down. And so what I can do, as opposed to going local, which I do often, I can hit pick. And that allows me to click on another object, and it takes that object's coordinate system and puts it on mine. And so I can come along here and look, my ball is sliding up and down the plane. Isn't that cool? Yeah, that's really cool. And to make it any worse, it's just really easy to animate in 3ds Max. Just come along here and let's hit the auto key, set a keyframe, slide the ball down, hit another keyframe. Pray I did this right and hit the play button. I didn't do it right. I screwed up. I did something wrong. Oh, I missed my second keyframe. Ha! What you have to do, let me take that back. When you set a keyframe, don't do it that dumbly, that stupidly. Let's go back. Let's go back up. Here's a keyframe. Now let's slide this slider forward. There you go. Pull it down, set the keyframe, and hit play. Yay! And my ball is sliding down the frame. And then I could add other stuff like rotation and stretching and whatever you want to do. Now there's a whole series that we will get to called animation. And it talks about the theory of animation. Disney got together, I guess, toward the end and had his group create a whole series of like 112 laws of animation. And we'll deal with the first 8. And a lot of that has to do with, for example, when a ball hits the ground, it doesn't look like a ball anymore. It compresses. When a character lifts something up, they have to strain. You know, it's all those secrets of animation to make something look like animation. So that's 3ds Max in a nutshell. I hope that you found this interesting. I found it fun.